Thank you for registering, campers. Come sit by the fire and await your counselors, Michelle and Samantha. Welcome to Camp Fear.
Hi campers, and thank you for joining us. Today we are going to talk about the Never Hike Alone fan film series for Friday the 13th, because this Friday is the first Friday the 13th of 2026. We have three of them. Three of them this year.
Excited.
Very, very lucky.
Do you do anything to celebrate your Friday the 13th?
I murder people in the woods.
Oh, great. Okay, that's a wonderful tradition.
So when all the news clippings that you see,
it's you.
It's me. What do you do for Friday the 13th?
So friends and I, we get together and we watch people be murdered.
Okay.
So we usually do a horror movie night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it a Friday the 13th movie that you watch?
Not typically, no. We've watched like Pumpkinhead. I think the last one we actually watched, The Taking of Deborah Logan, which is a great movie.
That's a good
so we just bounce there. I think the next one I'm pushing for is The Bay. That is so good. It's parasite horror. It's gross.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's
My
good.
friends have not seen that though.
So as always, there will be spoilers throughout this review. So please give all three of them a watch. They're available for free on YouTube.
A hiker's survival skills are put to the test when he stumbles on the remains of an abandoned campground and discovers its long, dark secrets.
And just some fun facts before we get into it. Jason would be 71 years old in the first Never Hike Alone movie.
Oh, okay.
Which came out in 2017. So Jason's 71 years old in this movie. He's almost up there with Michael Myers in the Halloween 2018 film. And then Tom Matthews, who plays Tommy Jarvis in Jason Lives, the sixth Friday the 13th, is in all three of these Never Hike Alone movies. So we are going to talk about all the movies as a whole instead of splitting them up. So away we go.
So we start with the first Never Hike Alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with, what's his name?
Kyle.
Kyle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we start with Never Hike Alone. We start with Kyle, who is an adventurer. He's a YouTuber, content creator, and he does all the hiking content. And so he's got his little camera, and he's going to go out into the woods alone, hiking new trails that he's never been on before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's not particularly looking for something to discover something, just cool trails for you to go hike on.
Yeah.
And then stumbles across the Camp Crystal Lake logo in the woods that has fallen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. The Camp Crystal Lake sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does jump back and forth from selfie mode to him like a regular film mode.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can see that it's Jason watching him, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a little confusing sometimes jumping around. I didn't know if it was supposed to be a what's it called? A found footage or not.
Oh, right. Right. I did like the style of it, though, because it kind of gave a personality to Kyle. So we could see as the viewer what kind of YouTuber he was. And I kind of liked him. Like, I thought he was a nice guy. Okay. Nice guy. Kyle gets to Camp Crystal Lake. He doesn't really know where he is. And he starts to investigate the camp. And he soon finds Jason's room, not knowing that it's Jason. And he sees, is looking around Jason's room while he's talking on his little camera thing. And then he finds Mrs. Voorhees' head, which we know is from Friday the 13th, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he finds the head, he's like, what's that smell? And it's because it's Jason. Jason comes up and grabs him and throws him out of the door window thing from Friday the 13th, part 3, the barn that we see when he gets thrown out of there. So there's a lot of winks and nods to the Friday the 13th original all the way through part 6. Once Kyle gets thrown onto the ground, he gets up and he fights Jason, and Jason keeps missing him with his axe because he's like, Jason has the axe and he's like trying to get him, but Kyle, being a parkour YouTuber, is like dodging everything, and so he's able to get away. There's a cat and mouse chase through the woods. And then Kyle ends up cutting his leg on the no trespassing sign that we see early in the film when he stumbles upon Camp Crystal Lake. So then Kyle, he's running through the woods and he's got a cut on his leg. It's pretty deep. Hopefully he's up to date on his tetanus shot. He finds a little hideout and he leaves a message on his GoPro, basically like, tell my parents I love them. If I don't find help soon, I'm going to die. All of my medical supplies are back at the camp. So if I'm going to make it through the night, I have to go back to the camp and get my first aid kit.
You never go back, man.
I know,
That's what I was thinking.
I know.
I'm like, why? Just go.
Like at this point, he is closer to his car than he is the camp.
But does he have his keys?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I mean, if you just keep walking and don't look back,
you'll find something. Yeah.
Jason's not going to. Yeah, so he goes back and gets his stuff and was successfully able to get his stuff.
Yeah.
And then the cat and mouse chase continues because Jason's like, oh, motherfucker's back. I'm gonna get him. What I did really enjoy is Jason used an array of tools as weapons. You know, classic, you know, he's got his machete, but even through the movies, he used arrows, he used knives, he used axes, he used a bunch of other stuff. So I thought that was a nice little.
Yeah. Yeah. Although for the arrow, I don't know, and all the Jason experts, please correct me. The only time I remember him using an arrow is in the first one, which would technically be Pamela Voorhees using it.
But he still did use axes and other things. So he's still using an array of tools to kill this guy.
Yeah.
But he's wily. Kyle is wily and gets away. But yeah, once he showed that door, you know, I was talking about, it's to get stuff up here. And then he's like, this is quite a drop. I went, he's going out that window. He is. he's getting thrown out of there.
So during Jason and Kyle's fight, Jason is just kicking his ass.
Yeah.
And Jason goes to stab Kyle in the stomach. And at the same time, Kyle is able to axe Jason like in the shoulder area. They both fall back. And then you see Kyle pop up because he used his very thick guidebook was in his jacket pocket, and so the machete couldn't go through the 2-inch thick.
It still got him though. Like that's the strength of Jason, right? Like to show that. I thought that was a great way to show power, but without like still having a plausible like it's survivable.
Yeah. So then Kyle runs away, and then you see Jason pop up because nothing can kill Jason. So we have Kyle then walks through the woods all night, and in the morning he comes to this lake. He's looking out. It's very beautiful. And then Jason jumps out and squeezes Kyle's head, which is a classic Jason move. Then lo and behold, it's just a dream that Kyle was having because he is in an ambulance. Not sure how the ambulance came to be, right? He's just in the ambulance.
Well, he was able to make a call. I remember because I was watching it and I was like, "What is that red light? Is that a microphone?" I was like, "Is that a production goof?" No, it was his phone. It was dying, so he was able to make a call.
Oh, okay, I missed that part. So, assumingly, he called for help,
and they were able to probably track his phone.
Okay. So he calls for help. He wakes up in the ambulance after having that dream. He's actually alive. The paramedic, so there's a female and she's like actually doing her job. And then there's Axel, the male paramedic, and he's in the back looking at the like 1950s Playboy that Kyle found while he was looking through Camp Crystal Lake.
Some of the things he said.
Axel was one of those characters where you know they're just a douchebag and their death scene is going to be awesome.
Satisfying.
Yeah, very satisfying. So turns out Kyle is okay. The paramedics tell him you should never hike alone. Like, why were you out there? And then Kyle sees Jason in the ambulance, just like kind of looking over the paramedics and what they're doing. He tries to run, but nope, that was just a hallucination. And then we see the ambulance doors pop open, and who is it? Tommy Jarvis.
Tommy Jarvis.
Tommy Jarvis, the actual Tommy Jarvis from Part 6, is a paramedic as well. So he's the actual paramedic driver. And they decide that because Kyle still needs to be cleaned up, that they're just going to sit at Camp Crystal Lake for a few minutes while they clean up Kyle instead of working on him while they are driving away.
Because also, like, the dude's been attacked.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like your scrapes from running through the woods. And if he's running through the woods, like, someone else is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Get him and go.
And it's Tommy Jarvis. If he knows that he is within like a 5-mile radius of Camp Crystal Lake, he's going to know that this is Jason's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So why he's just like, oh, we'll give it a few minutes, unless he was waiting for Jason to show up. I don't know.
Which presumably I feel is a valid thought process of like, he wants him. He's baiting him.
Knowing that after watching in the snow and Never Hike Alone 2, yes. But when I was just watching this for the first time.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of it as a whole.
Yep. I had a lot of questions as to
that makes sense.
Tommy's involvement. So then Tommy calls the cops to tell them that there's a missing hiker because the paramedic lady is like, I think there's somebody else out there.
Mm-hmm.
So then Tommy and Jason and then Axel fight off screen because Jason like comes and does his Jason stuff. Jason kills the lady paramedic and Axel and goes for Kyle, but Tommy, who survived the attack from Jason, drives off, and Jason then follows after them.
Yep. Poor Kyle in the back, strapped to this gurney, is just like watching, like, I can't do anything.
It's like the doors are still wide open.
I'm like, that's a lot of trust in that gurney.
Yeah, I hope it was like locked into place. So that's the end of Never Hike Alone 2017. So then we go into, if we do it for chronological order of how they were released, then we go into Never Hike in the Snow, which is a prequel to Never Hike Alone.
How long was this one? This was
about 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes long. So we have our young gentleman who is going to go out. They've moved to a new area. He wants to go check out the scenery. He's a photographer, so he wants to go get some great scenery, great photos. And so he says goodbye to his mother for the day. And, she says, be careful. And what happens? He runs into Jason while he's taking photos. He finds the room. He finds the head. I think he gets a photo of the head, I'm pretty sure. And then is running from Jason and does not make it out alive.
No.
And then you have Rick Cologne, who is the sheriff, who does not tell the mother that, it is an open investigation. So they don't know for sure if they do know he's dead, but he's not going to tell her that.
Yeah.
He's not going to tell her that yet. He's just going to tell her that the kid's missing. So Rick knows of Jason, but I don't think he really believes that he doesn't believe it's a real thing. So he's like, all right, this Jason crap is dumb. This is just an urban legend. And then, so he kind of misleads the mother, like, oh, it's an open investigation. We're looking into it. He is just deemed missing at this time. And we know that he is not.
No. So the sheriff gets a call back to the crime scene because the boy from the beginning, his name is Mark. And they find Mark's body in Jason's room. And then there's a flashback of Mark at Camp Crystal Lake, and he accidentally takes a picture of Jason, which I thought was a awesome transition. Like, it was really cool. So then we are back in present time, and Jason is looking through Mark's camera because apparently Jason knows how to work a Canon.
Thank you. That was my first thought, too. I was like,
camera.
He doesn't know how to use this.
So he's flipping through the pictures and he sees a picture of mom. He sees a picture of himself and he's just like not having it.
No.
And breaks the camera. So then Jason has a vision of Mrs. Voorhees. And she's like a young Mrs. Voorhees.
Mhm.
So then we have the sheriff goes to the camp and he sees that Tommy Jarvis is there and Tommy has a rifle and the sheriff arrests Tommy. And then Tommy has his rant about it's Jason, which is very part 6. He's just obviously playing the same exact character. So the sheriff walks through the cabin and he finds multiple Jason masks, like the hockey mask, which I thought was kind of weird because Jason's only supposed to have one.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
is he out there like whittling more hockey masks?
But in between, remember, he's wearing his burlap sacks. So.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. So the sheriff finds, and it's not, what's the sheriff's name? Rick
Cologne.
Okay. It's not, this sheriff isn't Rick Cologne. This sheriff is Rick Cologne's partner. They have his name on his body cam, Cambry or something like that.
Something like that. I don't remember it exactly. I didn't write it
so
down.
whatever his name is. So the second sheriff, he's the one who's walking through and finds all the Jason masks and everything. So then the sheriff finds the shrine that Jason has to his mom with all the candles. And it wasn't until I watched this version that I was like, where's Jason getting all of these candles? Like these white candles to like have and I'm sure he's like, Jason knows how to start a fire. So I don't care that he doesn't have access to like matches or a lighter.
Yeah.
I just want to know where he got
and
these candles.
They're burning like every night. He's got to be going through them like crazy. Like, is there just like a defunct pottery barn around or something?
I think so. I think so. So the sheriff finds the shrine and then Jason kills the sheriff. And that is the end of Never Hike in the Snow. I want to touch upon something real quick because I'll forget the further we go. Mark at the beginning is wearing a yellow jacket, like a yellow parka.
Puffer jacket, yeah.
And there's also yellow tents in the first Never Hike Alone and then Never Hike Alone 2. And I want to say that is a shout out to the sleeping bag.
Oh, yeah.
Sleeping bag scene in Friday the 13th, part 7. But yeah, just because that yellow stands out so much and that sleeping bag is such an iconic death scene.
Well, and even in the second one, you have the classic yellow logo, Crayon Crystal logo that's embedded onto the stacks. So Never Hike Alone 2, we start out with a little boy who is fishing and, you know, singing a song, humming to himself. And then Tommy Jarvis comes down. Oh, first there's footsteps. So you're not sure who it is. And as it get closer to the little boy, a little bit of tension. And then, oh, it's Dad, which is Tommy Jarvis. And he says, you know, you're not supposed to be out here by yourself. You know, it's dangerous. And the little boy says, well, I just wanted to fish. And then we have a lovely callback to the very first one, very first Never Hike Alone, and to the movies where Jason comes out of the water and takes the little boy down with him, and Tommy gets to watch the whole thing, which is horrific and traumatizing.
But turns out it was just a dream.
Yes.
It was just a hallucination. So Tommy wakes up from his bad dream and he decides, I am going to go to Camp Crystal Lake and look for Jason. The sheriff, Rick, he shows up and tells Tommy he needs to leave. The sheriff denies that Jason exists. And then we see that Kyle is back. It's the same timeline as Never Hike Alone.
This is where it all converges.
Tommy goes to visit Mark's mom, who is a doctor at the local hospital. Then we go and we see that there's a random couple camping in a yellow tent. I don't know, they're probably like in their late 20s maybe, and they're just a couple just hiking and
camping, having a good time.
Camping, having a good time. They hear a thud outside, and it's fallen Kyle. Kyle from Never Hike Alone, when he is yeeted out of the barn and lands on the ground. In the first one, we didn't see that just 20 yards that way is the couple who was in the tent. turns out that Kyle was probably knocked out for a bit longer than what we were shown in the first Never Hike Alone, because the guy goes over and he's like, "Hey, buddy, are you okay?
Are you okay?"
And then
Yep, great.
Kyle comes to and he just like runs off. He doesn't warn them like, "Hey,
No.
there's a masked killer upstairs. You might want to pack your shit and leave."
In fact, just leave your shit. Just go. Make sure you have your car keys.
So Kyle scampers off, and the dude is like, "Well, he was rude." And then Jason comes down and kills the couple. So basically, the couple was just there as a kill.
Like cannon fodder.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Mark's mom, who's working at the hospital. She is having hallucinations of Mark being in the hospital. That seems to be an ongoing theme. Everyone's like hallucinating things. So then Tommy shows up at the hospital because, again, he's a paramedic, and he talks to Mark's mom. Basically, Mark's mom is like, "I know my son is dead, even though they keep telling me that he's missing." And Tommy's like, "I can't really confirm or deny that, but Mark's dead."
Because it's like Schrodinger's child, right? Like he's alive until you know he's dead, but you know that he's dead. Like she can, mom, like, she feels it. But.
Yeah. So Tommy then gets a call on his little paramedic radio because it's the station is calling in for when Kyle called in Never Hike Alone. So now the timelines are starting to like come together. So Tommy goes to Camp Crystal Lake to answer the call for Kyle, and the park ranger is there. And this isn't stuff that we saw in Never Hike Alone, so they're kind of retconning a little bit to get these characters together. So we see the park ranger. She explains to Tommy, yeah, he was hiking, blah, 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 whatever. She goes into her park ranger car, and who's in the back seat?
Well, would you know it? It's Jason.
So Jason, very Michael Myers, like you said, gets her and kills her. And so from here is where we pick up after Never Hike Alone. So if you didn't want to watch this part, because I mean, you really don't need this part.
Yeah, it was all implied in Never Hike Alone, and you hear all the kerfuffle and scuffle outside, but this time you get to see it.
Yeah.
And what exactly happens.
So at the end of Never Hike Alone, we see Jason is walking after the ambulance that Tommy is driving, and this is where we pick up. So Jason is walking after the ambulance. Tommy calls in to dispatch, and he's like, "Jason is back," and which I think is something that he says on a daily basis.
Yeah, right. At least every morning when he wakes up from his nightmares.
So Tommy is driving in the little paramedic van, and Jason shows up, but Tommy gets away in the truck, and everything's fine. Mark's mom is at work and listens to a voicemail from Mark that he leaves.
Yeah.
Like, it's the stereotypical perfect son. The dad probably died or left them, so it's just the mom,
just the two of them,
raising the teenage boy, and he, of course, is the perfect son, just like in Scream 5, Wes was the perfect son, you know, that whole trope. So Tommy shows up to the hospital with Kyle. Kyle's taken to the operating room because of all of his machete cuts and the gash that he has on his leg that he just used Neosporin and a sewing needle to get in Never Hike Alone. So Mark hallucinates that Jason is there in his room, more hallucinating. Jason is outside the hospital, breaks through the window, and but it's just it's all a dream. So then at the sheriff's station, the sheriff is talking about how Jason is back, and like, well, all the other deputies are talking like maybe Jason is back or something.
Yeah, like everyone's kind of starting to believe these, because these two people having separate encounters 1 year before, and everything's kind of suspiciously accurate. So they're like, well, but they decide to pin it all on Tommy instead. He is the killer. He's the one who is at all these scenes. He's the one who had interaction with everyone that has died so far.
Yeah.
So it's convenient for Rick.
Yeah, it's a small town. They want answers, and Tommy is the most likely suspect. So forget about due process. Forget about
any sort of investigation.
Tommy's our guy. So the sheriff goes back to Camp Crystal Lake, and he sees the dead ranger's car. And the ranger is in the back seat, and so are the two campers from earlier. The sheriff calls it in that Tommy Jarvis did it. So Tommy's body count is just increasing by the minute.
Peaceful guy to tens of people.
So we're back at the hospital, and Tommy talks to Mark's mom and basically tells her everything that's going on, tells her about Jason. And she's like, Jason isn't real. And so then Tommy's like, look, he was real. I killed him. And then I doubted myself. So in part 6, I went and I resurrected him on accident.
Whoops.
Oops. I decided to go pierce a body on the night on a very rainy night, and it was lightning, and I resurrected this guy. So
don't mess with the occult, kids.
Yeah, basically. So Mark's mom and Tommy, they have Kyle's GoPro because, again, he's in the hospital there. So they're watching his GoPro, and they see basically everything that happened in Never Hike Alone, all of what Kyle witnessed. So then we have Jason shows up in Kyle's room at the hospital, but it's another nightmare. We're getting this a lot.
Yeah.
So Tommy wakes him up, and Kyle remembers that, oh, Tommy is the paramedic that saved me. Tommy wants to know about the Mrs. Voorhees head that's on Kyle's GoPro. And then Tommy convinces Kyle to go back to Camp Crystal Lake to help him find her head. Kyle is like, IVs.
He's like, man, do you see this? What? I don't want to.
I have a gash right here.
And poor Kyle's like, he already had to go back once for his stuff.
Right.
Like, third time's a charm. Jason's going to win now? Come on. Didn't take much to convince him.
No, not really. And then while they're like figuring out how they're going to get there, Mark's mom walks in, and she's like, oh, you're going to Camp Crystal Lake? I'm going to come too.
Got to figure out what's going on. What else I thought was kind of funny about those scenes is like they got the GoPro to work immediately on these old computers.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, don't know if those connect.
Yeah. Did they have an extra USB cord? Okay. So as they are leaving the hospital to go to Camp Crystal Lake, the sheriff shows up at the hospital, like guns ablazing.
Yeah.
Got, like the little red dots on him. And he is ready to arrest Tommy and anyone who gets in his way. Then Jason shows up for real this time. He kills all the security guards, all the nurses. They are just there for body count. And then the sheriff finally has his come to Jesus moment, and he realized, like, this whole time Jason has been real. It's Tommy, Kyle, Mark's mom, and the sheriff. Then go outside to get away, but they see that Jason has Hulk smashed all the cars.
Oh yeah, because they called in on the radio and they're like, someone's vandalizing all the cars out here.
Yeah.
And then you just see debris from the cars everywhere. A mechanic, Jason is not.
So the sheriff is like, all right, I've had enough of this. I'm going to be the distraction while you guys find a battery to get the paramedic van to work again. So the sheriff goes and he starts shooting like an old Western movie at Jason. And he's just like, pew, 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 pew.
So anyway, I started blasting.
So Jason is just taking hit after hit. They're able to change the battery, but Jason, of course, kills the sheriff with a axe to the head, right? He axes him in the gut.
I don't remember if it was the gut or the head. I just remember being happy that the sheriff got what he got.
How many people could have been saved if the sheriff just like listened at the beginning?
For 2 seconds.
Yeah. So they are able to get away because of the sheriff's sacrifice, basically. Then Jason goes back to Camp Crystal Lake and he jumps in the lake. I feel like that's his way of rejuvenating because he took
Yeah.
quite a few bullets. And so he went back into the lake to like, kind of.
It's healing powers.
Mhm. Yeah. And then Tommy et al. Shows up to Camp Crystal Lake via the ambulance truck that they just fixed. So Tommy and Kyle, so first they split up. Tommy and Kyle
Always a smart thing to do. in a
go
horror
to
movie.
the cabin while the mom is like, I'm going to check out my archery skills. Meanwhile, Jason emerges from the lake. Tommy and Kyle, they start searching the cabin and they find Mrs. Voorhees' head. So, mission successful. Jason shows up and fights both of them.
And they're trying to keep the head away. It's like, football.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep.
And so then Jason shoots Tommy with 2 arrows. He gets like one in the gut and one in like his shoulder area. And then that's when Mark's mom shows up and she has an axe. And she axes Jason in the head. Boom, it's here. But of course, Jason gets back up because he's Jason. And then Kyle is like, well, look what I have here. And it's Mrs. Voorhees' head. Then Jason starts to chase Kyle to the lake where Kyle had planned to like throw the head into the lake for whatever reason.
Then they, Jason and Kyle start fighting, and then down is going to come the machete or the axe. I don't remember which one he had.
Machete.
So down comes the machete because classic. And then he blocks with dear Mother Dearest's head. And then it breaks apart, and then like a shocked Jason. Shocked Pikachu is shocked. So Jason is shocked Pikachu at this point.
Which gives Tommy time to get up with all his arrows sticking out of him and chop Jason's head off. And then Tommy passes out from all his wounds.
And then another ambulance comes.
So then it's like the morning. The mayor, who is played by Shelley from Friday the 13th Part 3, who's the reason why Jason has the hockey mask. Shelley is the mayor, at least, well, the actor who plays Shelley is the mayor, and basically gives his thanks to the hardworking ambulance and crew for cleaning this up. He basically summarizes everything that has happened at Camp Crystal Lake. And then Mark's mom is finally able to confirm that Mark is dead because all the workers are like carrying out the dead bodies from the weekend of what happened, and she sees Mark.
Poor boy.
Yeah.
Poor perfect son.
And then Tommy and Kyle, they have a heart-to-heart by the dock where at the beginning the little boy was fishing. So Kyle gives Tommy his GoPro. So Tommy has proof that Jason is alive, and Tommy is just over it, and he's like, do what you want with it. And so Kyle yeets it into Camp Crystal Lake where Jason is waiting.
He's that nice pan up reveal that, hey, guess who's rejuvenating?
Well, basically, so you have Jason's body and then Jason's head, and then the GoPro is like pretty much in the middle. And then it fades to black. We get the end credits. Did you watch
yes,
that?
I did.
Oh,
I
it was
did.
so
I thought
good.
that was hilarious. So the end, like mid-roll credits, is another YouTuber speculating as to what happened to Kyle. We haven't seen him post in a while. I used to love this guy. Well, I'm going to pick up where he took off, and I'm going to go to where he last hiked, which ends up in Camp Crystal Lake. So, we might have some more Never Hike Alones with a new YouTuber.
It was Hiker Man 5000, and Kyle gives him a shout out in Never Hike Alone when he's talking on his GoPro, like right before he goes to Camp Crystal Lake. He tells people like this terrain is for advanced level, so don't try this. I'm looking at you, Hiker Man
Oh,
5000.
that's right. I didn't even catch that. Thank you. Oh yeah, that's funny. Oh.
Yeah, it was really
And
cute.
he's like, don't tell me what to do.
Basically.
And that's the story of 3 Never Hike Alones.
So as a whole, we are going to give our thoughts on it instead of breaking it up, 1, 2, and snow. So overall, what did you like about it?
I was pretty impressed with these overall. I thought that it was really clever how they brought everything together into one timeline over 3 films.
Mhm.
When you have them all together, it's like 2 hours,
Mhm.
about
Yeah.
about 2.5 hours, and is like feature length film. Effects, the blood and the effects were
Mhm.
fantastic,
Yes.
phenomenal. Makeup, special effects makeup team. Oh my gosh, such a great job.
Mhm.
I was just continuously impressed with that. I kept looking for Jason in the background
Uh-huh.
as
Yeah.
Kyle was walking through. At first, it kind of bugged me that it was I was thinking either make it found footage or not. I had a hard time with it bouncing back and forth unless it was through Jason's eyes.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
didn't like it, but then it bothered me less the further we went. But
Okay.
once I like found footage films, so I thought it had been really interesting to have done this entirely through found footage. So I was a little like, pick one or the other, please. But as things started coming together and you see the whole story come together, it bugged me less that they did it that way. I still like a definitive one or the other, but that's just me. Oh, I loved the mirroring of the original ending. They did it a couple times, but I thought it was really good. Although the hallucinations and the dreams and the sightings were a little overused.
Mhm.
I think, especially in the first Never Hike Alone, they gave Jason those heavy footfalls, and after a while it felt very overused.
Mhm.
I liked that because it gave Jason more of a presence and more of like a standing by having probably an actor that's not as large as what you would normally see Jason as.
Right.
So it still gave him a heft and a presence.
I really liked this. I liked the set design was
Mhm.
amazing. The location that they got was amazing. The acting was great by everyone, especially Kyle in the
He was
first one.
great, yeah.
I loved Kyle so much in the first one. He would be a great YouTuber just in general.
Yeah.
The cinematography was great. I said that the whole thing feels like an actual Friday the 13th
Mhm.
movie. At no point where I thought like, oh, this is a fan film. Like this could
Yeah.
have picked up from Jason Lives and just forego New Blood and Jason Takes Manhattan and all that. They could have just eliminated those. I don't like New Blood. I do like Jason Takes Manhattan. Though. And the makeup was great. The people behind this truly love this franchise,
Yeah,
and
you can feel it.
shows. They love this franchise. What were your dislikes?
So dislikes were a little less. I thought it was done really well. Elements being overused is probably my biggest gripe. So like the overutilization of heavy footfalls, or brought in sound effects. So overuse of that. Some of the cat and mouse got a little overdone. So there was too much, I guess, too much survival, and that stuff gets repetitive.
Yeah.
So Kyle, while we love Kyle, it's the repetition of the survival just got a bit much. So like maybe cut that down a little bit. For me personally, I thought it was just overused a little bit.
My main gripe watching Never Hike Alone, the first one, was I didn't feel like we needed Kyle to explain to his GoPro the story of Jason. Oh, my brother told me this story. If you were watching a fan film, then you know everything about the franchise already. Mainstreamers don't really get involved with fan films. So I didn't think they needed the expo of it. And then once I got into Never Hike in the Snow, I thought like, oh, this prequel really wasn't needed until I watched Never Hike Alone 2. and I see like, oh, they are combining all these stories together, which then Never Hike Alone 2, my biggest dislike for it was all the retconning that it did of Never Hike Alone. And I know like, oh, this is just stuff that happened that we didn't see, but we would have seen when Kyle is thrown out of the barn window and lands on the ground, we would have seen the couple that's camping 20 yards away. Like, so it was just stuff like that to make it fit. But altogether, like, I really have no complaints.
One other thing that I really liked was the edit of Mark's death. And how that all came together with the swing in this and then into the mouth, like just so good.
The special effects, good Lord.
Man, and just the edit of that and the effects of that. So I love the decapitation in the mouth. I don't know, like that's one of my favorite deaths. The first time I saw it and was impacted by it was in Wrong Turn. And I was like, and so every time I see that, it makes me kind of happy. But that edit was so good. I had to like rewind and watch it again. It was so good.
And I liked Never Hike Alone in the Snow because it takes place during the winter. I can't tell you how many times I have wanted to see a slasher take place in the winter so you can see blood against snow because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
I'm okay in the head. It's fine.
We're good.
So overall, how many toasty marshmallows do you give this?
I think overall, looking at the whole story, is solid 3 toasty marshmallows. 3.5 toasty marshmallows.
Okay.
It's really good.
Okay. I give it 4 out of 5 toasty marshmallows. I was in for it. I watched Never Hike Alone in 2017 when it first came out, but I didn't watch the other 2. So the 2 were new to me watching in 2026. So yeah, I loved it as a whole. I think maybe they're working on more.
I thought I saw another one because I had messaged you. I'm like, what order? Because there's 1 and 2. And then because I knew nothing of these fan films, or I'm new to them. So I didn't know that these existed. And so I was like, what order? And so you had said it's Never Hike Alone, Never Hike Alone in the Snow, and then Never Hike Alone 2. And I think there's a 4th one now. Okay. Because that's what threw me. I'm like, I think there's 4 of them.
Oh, well, we didn't get to that one.
So if you want us to get to that one, let us know. And we will. Very likely we might do it anyway. But
yeah, because there's 2 more Friday the 13th this year.
Yay! So we got to stockpile some stuff. If you have any other recommendations of Friday the 13th fan films that are really cool that we can do on other Friday the 13th upcoming, like we said, there's 2 more coming. So let us know.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.